third effect we're going to put into here is going to be the glow. So let's go ahead and go to our create, go down to the particle system and place another one in. And with this one, let's just call this glow, rename it here. And then left click and drag it on top of the fire. We want to just parent it inside of there. Go ahead and reset the position 0, 0, 0. Alright, so now once you've got that one in, we'll go down to our rendering rollout down here. We're going to replace the material with our, let's see if we have it here. Looks like we have a glow material right there. So let's replace it with that one. Alright, so with the glow, we're not looking, I'm going to go ahead and take the shapes roll off of it. We're not looking to use shape. And for the speed of it at the moment, we're just going to set the speed to 0, and then we'll reset some values. I'm just going to go to our speed, set it to 0 here. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off for the duration, set it to 1. The options inside of here, we'll go for the start lifetime, and we just want to make a 2 variables for it. We'll start for about 1.5 seconds, and then we'll extend it to about 2 seconds for it. The start speed, let's go ahead and make a little bit of a variance between those two, so we'll do another 2 constant on it. And let's do a 0.05, so we'll do just a half of a millisecond there, and all the way up to just a tenth of a millisecond. Alright, so we've got those two set in place. The we want, if you notice, we just want a little bit of that movement there. The start size, let's go ahead and make sure that we're enveloping the whole flames. So let's go into the 2 options again, and let's try for about a 2. Let's see if that gets pretty close. Kind of similar to like we did before with the other flame, the simple one. We want it where it's definitely all the way from one side to the other, and that looks good. We'll do our rotation on this, so we'll have the 2 options for that, and let's just go for a 0. You could do a 0 to 180 or a 0 to 360. That way we're having the particles spawning at start, rotating around different directions. Let's go ahead and take our start color, and we'll just drop this down about halfway, maybe a little bit less. We'll go for about 100 on it. Alright. And then we want a little bit of movement on this one. Since the flame's so hot, let's have this rise upwards a little bit. So on the gravity, let's do a negative 0.05. Let's see. Might be a little bit too much. Actually, let's see how high we want this to go. Yeah, we'll do a negative 0.1. That'll actually work pretty good for it. And then let's go ahead and stick with local on this one. We want to kind of focus in on that original one, so we want to stay with it. The amount of max particles for this, let's just do 4. So we just want to have just a couple being made. You could do 4 or 5. Actually, let's see if we make a, yeah, we'll do 5 on that one. Alright, so for the mission type, I'm going to take this down to 2. So every second it'll make 2 of them. Alright, so we're going to have this one kind of going up with it right there. Alright, so let's go down to our color over lifetime. And the color over lifetime, let's go ahead and click on it once we've selected it. And we're just going to go ahead and take the edges, very similar like we've done before. We'll take the edges and we'll make them dark. The alpha on this one, instead of taking it all the way, I'm actually going to make sure that it's showing at the very start. We do want to see it down here, so I don't want to have it all the way gone. I'm going to take on the far right hand side though, on the top tick for the alpha. I'm going to drag that one all the way to 0. And then somewhere around that 10 to 20, 30 range, probably around 20, we'll go for about 20 right here. And we'll take the alpha and just increase it about 100 or so. Let's see. You want to be able to see it enough that it's there, but not too much where you're seeing too much of it. I'm going to go for about a 110. So I can still see the pieces coming up, and there's enough gravity that's forcing them up so I can see it kind of going with it, almost like heat coming from it. Alright. And then the next part we can do is just add a little bit of a color to it here. I'm going to drop a color tick down at the bottom here, and we'll go for that orangish red, orangish brown type of tone, and might add a little bit more red here. There we go. Remember, we want it to blend with the fire. We don't want it to be a white glow. We want it to feel like it's the flame from here that's glowing. There we go. So just to double check, make sure you've got them set up right. So for this one, I've got this. We'll set it at a whole number here. We'll say about 40% over. And then you've got a almost alpha out. It's about 25. Then a 110, and then a full 0 on that one. Alright. Once you have that, let's go to our size over lifetime. And size over lifetime, again, we're just going to go to the particle system on the curves right here. And we actually want, let's try to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go for 5 for the moment and see what this looks like. Yeah. So it's actually a little bit bigger. And then let's take the curve on this one. And actually, I'm going to do that curve right there. Because really what I'm going for is a whole number all the way to nothing. There we go. So that's looking pretty good. So we'll do a 5 all the way down to a 0. And I'm just using the curve, that right curve right there. Alright. And then let's do one last thing, that rotation over lifetime. And just set it to 2 values. And we'll actually set, well, you could do a curve or a value. We'll go ahead and just do 2 constant values here. We'll do about a -10 and take it to a 45. So just a little bit of a spin to it. Alright. So that should give us that extra little glow that we need. And it just rises up right from it there. Alright. So there's the glow, and then we finished off with the fire part here. We'll start to add some sparks and then add some smoke, and that should give us a nice, pretty good complex fire that you could use inside your scene.